This is the second episode of Saturn Stories, and I'm excited to talk to you about your Saturn story, your placements, what Saturn is, talking about how it shows up in your life. Before we get into that, I would love it if you could introduce yourself for those who are listening and who might not know you.
I'm Brandy. I currently live in New Mexico. I've lived in several places throughout the states. This is one of my favorites so far. Moved here for work. I am a Sagittarius sun, Aries moon, and Virgo rising.
Awesome. Well, thank you for
Uh,
being here. I love just that adventurous Sagittarius sun. And like you kind of
yeah,
alluded to, just like moving around and stuff. You are one of my favorite Sagittarians. So I will put that on the record.
thanks.
You really do allow me to like bring out more of my fiery spirit. So I think this is going to be a really fun episode to talk about like what's been going on throughout your life and just like the adventures that you find yourself. For those who are listening who might not know what Saturn is in our birth charts, it is the planet that represents time. It's very karmic. It is the part of us that needs to be responsible. It's kind of like where we're growing up, the rules, the structure, the discipline. It's not really a fun topic for a lot of people, probably especially for a fiery human like Brandy and a Sagittarian sun who's like, I don't want any rules, like no structure. But maybe your Virgo rising is like, we like a little bit of structure. Saturn really does want structure. It wants us to take responsibility. So oftentimes it shows up as the big lesson that we're here to learn in our lifetime. So we're either like ready for Saturn and we just want to do it straight out of the gate, or it's where we kind of like bump up against some challenges or some life struggles, the things that come with being human. And with that, hopefully we can learn to love it and to really give it the devotion that it deserves. So ideally throughout life, we kind of work with Saturn through these cycles and then we become really good at it. And oftentimes it's what we teach other people to do as well, whether formally or informally, just by like being in other people's lives. The Saturn cycle, every 7 years, Saturn transits into a square or an opposition, another square, or a conjunction. So every 7 years, transiting Saturn will have a conversation with our natal Saturn in our chart. So this is often described as like what we know as the 7 year itch. So if there's like every approximately 7 years, we'll get a little bit like, oh, I'm feeling a little challenged or constricted or restricted. It's like I need to change something. I need to recommit to this thing. It is this season of recommitting as well, or possibly like changing course to realign with our purpose, our trajectory of life. So if we talk about Brandy, Brandy has her Saturn in Leo in the 11th house. In this lifetime, Brandy is really here to be seen. And with Saturn and Leo, it may be a little bit of like apprehension towards being seen. You may like rather take the back seat, like not really be seen as much, but there could be this feeling of like really wanting to be seen as well. It's like I want to be seen, but I don't want to be seen. I'm a little bit shy. How does that show up for you in your life?
Historically speaking, in my life, I've always wanted to be behind the scenes. I always want to be a participant for sure. I always want to be there. I always want to be in the action, but I don't want to be like front and center.
Yeah.
However, in recent times, it's kind of shifting. For example, in my career, I've always denied certain roles at work because I didn't want to be in charge and I didn't want to be in front. I just was fine being in the Mac. However, this current career path I chose, I think it was about a year ago, I decided that I will be front and center. And I did have a lot of apprehension in the beginning. I just now came into form like this year in 2025, where I'm like, you know what? I have a lot to offer. I have a lot to give. I got a lot of knowledge. Let me just throw it out there and like, let's see how it goes.
Yes.
so for the so for the first time, I feel like I'm in the front center stage, especially with my career, and it's empowering. no regrets about not doing it before. I think it just wasn't time for me
Mhm.
until now.
I wonder what that shift was. Do you know like what that moment was where you were like, okay, I am ready to step into the spotlight? Is there anything that stands out for you?
I love challenges to death. Like I compete against myself. I'm ridiculous. So I just felt like that was an area that I hadn't ever challenged myself. And I was just like, if not now, when kind of situation.
Mhm.
So I fully jumped in. And I think that was just it. I was like, you know what? You really haven't challenged yourself in this aspect of being front and center. Like, and so I think that that was just it. It was just one of those, let's see what else you can do, and
Yeah.
let's knock that off your list because I'm a list person. Like maybe that's my Virgo rising, but it's
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
like
we got a
I
list, we're
do.
gonna do this thing.
Yeah,
Watch
so
me.
I oh yes, that's exactly it. And so I when I took this on, it was my third promotion in 16 months. So it was like I just went for it.
That's so
It's just
exciting. And I wonder like what you got out of that challenge of like stepping into, and I know you're kind of still in the process of it, but like what did you learn from stepping into the spotlight?
mostly that I need to give myself credit because
Mm,
the inner talk was like, that's not your thing. You don't want to do that. And I think it was just I'm so glad I did this.
oftentimes with Saturn and Leo, it can be hard to take that next step because sometimes Saturn and Leo can get, I don't know if you've experienced this, like maybe something will come up, but like, have you ever experienced the feeling of like maybe you put yourself out there and then you didn't get the reception that you expected or that you would have desired? Like maybe you didn't get the applause or the validation that you would have wanted in those moments. Like sometimes Saturn and Leo, the lesson, it can be hard because maybe earlier in life or sometimes throughout life, there's this, especially for women with placements like this, it kind of puts you back into that, like, okay, I can't be in the spotlight because it's not safe. I wonder if you've ever felt those feelings, maybe throughout your life
Oh,
or in childhood.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like to remain in the background because it was
Hmm.
safe.
Yeah.
So there were quite a few instances in childhood and growing up where safety was my number one priority. So it was just literally a safety net.
Yeah. Do you remember, and if not, it's okay because it's a long time ago, but I wonder if like you remember the first time that you felt that way as a child, like putting yourself out there and then feeling like not well received.
Probably like specifically, I remember just speaking up for myself
Hmm.
and immediately dismissed.
Mm.
Uh, and I think, it's different times now,
Yeah.
but back then, children were to be seen and not heard.
That one. Yep.
So I didn't have a voice ever just because I was a child.
Hmm.
It didn't matter, for instance, like if I was climbing up on the counters and providing a breakfast for my younger siblings, it didn't matter how many roles and responsibilities I had, but it was because I was a child that I was dismissed. So I think that might be correlated into that, being
Definitely.
rejected on a regular basis in those type of settings. So it was just like, have I always had a bold personality? Absolutely. But there is a time where it's just like, I think I'm just gonna do what I'm supposed to do and be seen and not heard kind of thing.
And it sounds like you didn't really have a chance to be a kid. Like you were saying that you were like crawling up onto the counters to provide food for your siblings. And like that's a big responsibility. How old would you say
Hmm.
that you were when you were doing that for your siblings and like having to take care of them?
I started probably between 6 and 8, solid
Mm.
7.
Yeah.
I,
So
I
that would
mean,
have been
I was
around your first Saturn square, like 1982,
uh,
83-ish, do you think?
my yeah, my brother was born.
Mm.
Um, and so I was changing diapers at 8 years old. My responsibilities increased drastically with my second sibling because I had a younger sibling that was 4 years younger. some roles and responsibilities fell there. But then once the next one came along, it was definitely like do this, do that. So,
Wow. So, like at your first Saturn square, for those listening, it was in Scorpio in the second house. So, you had to provide basically
hmm
for your family. Like, you had to grow up. And
hmm
that's really like what Saturn is. It's like, especially during these cycles. So, that was the first moment. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like maybe the first moment where you felt inherently like, oh, I have to be an adult. I have to be responsible. I can't be a kid right now because I need to like be responsible for this baby brother of mine.
hmm yeah, it just progressed from there. I didn't get to be a kid, and I think that's why when I became a parent, I just literally let them be kids the whole entire
Yeah.
time. So, it had so much an effect on me that when I became a parent, I was like, nope, all they're going to do is be a child.
And like with Saturn and Leo too, it's like Leo is the child. It's being playful, being as a like a kid, having fun. And I think like in times like that when we grow up too quick, like we don't really get an opportunity to have a childhood. So then there's this sense of like, okay, I just grew up way too fast. I need to be seen and not heard because I'm a kid. I need to also take on these responsibilities. I don't have time to play. I don't have time to have fun because if I have fun, like things aren't going to be taken care of, maybe.
Which I did get to live out my childhood when my kids were growing up. So,
Yeah. So you could like live kind of vicariously through them
so
and like
I
have that
did.
fun.
I think from the age of probably 4 or 5 to the age of 12 was like, what are we going to play? What are we going to do today?
Yeah. I
Whether it
love
was
that.
laser tag, jumping on the trampoline, hopscotch, and name a kid thing. I was all about it.
When did you have your first kid?
98. So that was
98.
also one of my Saturn.
Yeah, it was. So that was when Saturn
Yeah.
was in Taurus in the eighth house. So I wonder like how are you feeling at that point like when you were pregnant or like having your kid like what was happening in your life around that time?
Ooh. it was it was going down bad. It was a downward spiral for sure. There was quite a significant things that happened, monumental things that happened. I overdosed.
Mm.
The doctors brought me back to life. There was just a lot of transitions. It was after, a car wreck. It was just like a lot of stuff happened all at once. And so the pregnancy was out of the blue. And it was just like my original intention was not to have children. So
Hmm.
it was just like a huge conundrum of things that happened. But the moment that I became pregnant, like my whole life did a 360. And it was
Wow.
all about this baby that I wasn't expecting, but like I'm gonna do everything. So I read every parenting book, every parenting magazine, Lamaze class, like I need to know everything because I didn't ever really interact with children. Aside of raising my brother and sister, I didn't really know anything else.
Did you feel like
So
uncomfortable around children? Was there like
yes,
discomfort or what was it like for you?
I didn't like children unless
Yeah.
they were unless they were in my family. I was like, if they were, which the dynamics in my family, all of my aunts and uncles had children later. So we
Hmm.
kind of had children at the same time. So my aunts and uncles were having children at the same time as I was.
Got
So I didn't
it.
really have any cousins. Like my first cousin was born when I was 13.
So at that point
So
it's like they're just a baby and
uh,
I've been an adult for
uh,
7 years already.
so I wasn't ever around children.
Yeah, and I think that's a common thing for Saturn in Leo as well. It's like there's this discomfort or like restriction around children too. It's like maybe if children are playing, it's like there's just no relatability almost. It's like why,
Mm,
or maybe even resentment. It's like why do they get to have a childhood and I didn't? Or, and it might not even be conscious. It can show up in many ways and it might not be this way for you, but I feel like with Saturn and Leo, it can almost feel like there's this jealousy around it where it's just like, why do they get to be a kid? And like, I never got that. Or I just don't know how to relate with this person who's just like not serious.
it might have been subconsciously.
Yeah,
I just like didn't have time for them. Like, I'm doing adult things. I mean,
exactly.
I had my first job at 15.
Mm-hmm.
So then like I really, and that was again, my mother filled out the application for me. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like something that I was out there seeking.
Was that around like
And
1991?
it was,
So that would have been your Saturn opposition. That
yes.
like,
So,
yeah. Wow. So 7 years old, the first Saturn square, you were basically taking care of like little ones,
mhm,
your brother.
mhm,
Your Saturn opposition when Saturn was in Aquarius in your fifth house was when you got your first job. Another moment of like, okay, need to grow up, need to be an adult. And then that next Saturn square with your pregnancy, your overdose, and car wreck, it's like, and that was in the eighth house too. And the eighth house is very much about like, not always so literal, but in your case, very literal, like death and rebirth. It's like
mm,
you had this moment where like you had to be brought back to life.
mhm.
I
I was
wonder
dead
how,
on arrival.
yeah, like how do you think that kind of shaped that time in your life or even like your life after that?
I didn't actually take it seriously. And I think that's it, not until like, gosh, it was probably within 30 or 60 days of that happening is when I got pregnant.
Mm,
So I think that was like the major shift. Like it wasn't about me anymore. It was about
mm,
it was about like the and like immediate caregiving. Like I have to be sober, I have to eat right, I have to figure out my life. I need to, get my own place because I was, I had a roommate at the time. So it was just like a lot.
yeah.
And I think it was honestly, I just, what turned my life around was the pregnancy.
Wow. It
That
really
was the
sounds like
pivotal.
you had this like you had your old life and then like a new life started, is what it sounds
Hmm.
like to me.
It really was. And even in 91, it was the first time that of intimacy. So that also happened that same year. And
Hmm.
once I started working, I don't even think I had my first paycheck yet. And my mother was like, from here on out, you are going to provide the toiletries for you and your sister, whether it was like shampoo and conditioner. So it was like I was financially responsible for a human, excuse me,
Yeah.
at that same exact time of getting my first job.
Wow. So
So,
throughout these first three cycles that we're talking about, there's the theme of needing to take care of someone other than me.
hmm
And then 2005, what was going on in 2005 for you?
I was going to school full time. I was just living in a new state that it was such a culture shock. I didn't, at that particular moment, like it very much. And my second child had turned 5. So I was taking care of 2 children. I was coaching their soccer. I don't know how I did it, to be honest, because I was still there at breakfast and dinner. I'm not sure how I did any of it, but I was volunteering in their school. And so it was a very busy, busy life. But
Wow.
we lived in the South. So it was kind of like where it provided that Southern slowness to be able to have that dinner time with them. We were at church like 2 or 3 days a week. I was volunteering in the nursery.
And also thinking about too, like this would have been your Saturn return. So Saturn would have been back in Leo in your 11th house. And what I'm hearing is there's like a lot of focus on kids, but also on community, like going to church, like
Hmm.
being volunteering, doing things like within the community. What was that like? Like, did you enjoy it?
I actually did.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, I loved walking into the kids' school and, oh, there's so and so's mom, I it's kind of like that childlike thing. I volunteered to read to the class and I was
Yeah.
animated when I was reading. Coaching soccer, I never thought I was gonna do that. And some of the, so that was a lot of fun. I got to learn about soccer and started playing actually, like the adult soccer, like within a year or two after that on the co-ed team. But it was, and then I got a lot out of church because one day was for service, one day was for, I was in the women's Bible study. So it fed my soul and it was just like the instrument I needed in that particular life cycle. Or I don't remember being sad or crying or woe is me. I just remember really enjoying life and having fun with my
Mm.
kids and how am I going to school full time and cooking dinner and being there for my children. So I I remember it was a lot, but I remember it being extremely rewarding.
I love that. And it sounds like, just to bring it back to your Saturn and Leo too, it's like, it sounds like that's when your heart really came online, where it was like, okay, I get to have fun. I get to read to kids and like be animated. I get to like do all these fun things. I get to play soccer for myself. And part of this team too, it's like you have your community, you have this team, and also like that Saturn and Leo just to gets to express and like to have fun and to, yeah, just really be a kid again.
And then
Wow.
same with going to school, you know. I was
Yeah.
like, I get to enjoy my studies because it's something that I want to go to school for, not because like I had to go, but because it's something that I signed up for and I wanted to be there. And I like when it's something that I want to learn, I really enjoy it.
That's a really good point too. It's like, especially in the 11th house, like the 11th house is our communities, but it's also like our bigger aspirations, our goals, like the things that we want to do in the world. And when Saturn's here, it's like when we align with the things that our heart wants rather than what other people want from us, that's when things really start to click into place, where it's like, okay, I find my people because I'm in the spaces that really light me up. I get the support that I need because like I'm
Mhm.
doing the things that make me feel good.
And even that same year, 2005, it's very prominent in my mind.
Hmm.
It was also not only was it my first year of going back to school, you know, as a non-traditional student, being an adult, but I also started a job that I stayed with for 8 years. So it was like a pivotal moment too, to where it was like a job that I enjoyed doing. It's something I hadn't ever done before. I excelled at that. And then those people that I worked with are a good handful of them are still my friends today, and we don't live in the same state. Like I made family. It was that job that made that I didn't have any family where I was living at the time. And so
Hmm.
that year, it was like even straight out the gate by Christmas it was like I was able to spend holidays with these, you know, coworkers slash friends that became family. And like I said, probably four of them I'm still extremely close with.
That's amazing. That's just like a testament to when we do Saturn, like when we do Saturn good. It's like not like when we do it well, it's like when
Right.
we appease our Saturn in the way that he wants
Right.
us to appease it. And like we, it just sounds like to me that you were just following your heart. You were finally able to do the things that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of it like also was because of the kids too, but it sounds like you had fun doing those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
then
just,
like getting a job that you really wanted rather than like when you were a teenager getting a job that like you had to have to
mhm.
provide.
That was also like the turning point where I went from hating where I had moved to, but didn't want to tell my family because they were very discouraging of me doing that because no one had moved away from our hometown until I
Hmm.
moved away. And so it was like I was the first one, and I just didn't want to hear like I told you so, so I just stuck it out. And then that was around the time that I was like, all right, I'm here. I'm supposed to be here. This is a great place. I'm sorry I hated it the first, you know? But I think it was just culture shock. When you live in somewhere for like 27 years and then you go somewhere else that's extremely different. Like I just did, it was like tumultuous. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. And
So
that's
that
a
was also the
big
year that
move.
I started. Yeah, it was over 2,000 miles away from my family.
And that's a good point you make too, Brandy. It's like this Saturn return point is most often the point where it's like, okay, I'm an adult now. Like in my mind, I'm not an adult when I turn 21 or whatever the age is, like wherever it is. It's like when you hit your Saturn return, that's when you turn into an adult. It's this independence point. It's like, okay, I'm disconnecting in a way from everything that I knew to like find myself. I need to figure out who I am
Mm,
separate from how I grew up, separate from like what I went through. And you did that in a way of like moving 2000 miles away. You needed to do that. And it's challenging too, like to your point. It's like that's challenging to be in a place that's totally new with nobody you know and like with your kids and just like everything is new. And also like you're also responsible for these kids too, so it's not just yourself. There's like other people that you're responsible for, so I would imagine that and that was challenging.
oh yeah, it was extremely tough. Like that's why I said like the first couple of years, I was like, this is the worst decision I've made in my life.
I'm out.
And then it was 2005 where it was just like that Saturn return was just like, this is the best decision I ever did. And it changed me forever.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until I went home to visit and I was an entirely different person. And I noticed my family had typecast me and didn't really acknowledge the growth or the change. And so it was just kind of like, well, I guess you guys will just eventually learn I'm not the same person.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. That's hard too. It's like I'm a whole different person and then I go home to my
mm,
family and they still expect me to be the same.
hmm.
Hmm.
Which I kind of played into that for a lot of years, which, you live and you learn, right?
Do like you played into it in the way that you would maybe like revert back to your old
Yeah.
ways
Yeah,
or
like to appease them,
hmm.
like how do you say, like just to not rock any boats.
No, it makes sense. It's like, yeah, and especially for that Leo energy, it's like, okay, it might not be safe to be myself in this situation. I need to
Exactly.
be what they expect me to be. I need to like
Hmm.
be what they know that I am because if not, like maybe whatever it is, like maybe they won't love me anymore. Like maybe they won't want me to come back here. Like whatever. I wonder if they're, it's probably not conscious also. It's just like something deep down where it's like, okay, I just know that I need to conform in order to fit in.
Yeah.
I wonder too, like during your Saturn return, like during that time in 2005, was there a moment where it shifted where you were like, oh, this was the right choice?
Probably halfway through the year, like that late summer, there was like I can just kind of remember where I get like, I mean, that's so many years ago.
Yeah.
It's 20 years ago, 20 years ago, and I still can remember like that feeling. The manifestation, it was like one of those where I didn't call it that then. I don't know what I called it. Like praying for whatever it was. It was just like when I was staying true to myself and seeing like all the things that I could accomplish through putting my mind and putting putting it physically into motion type of thing. When I was all in mentally, emotionally, physically, I think was like that shift.
Yeah. It's so funny you say mid-year, like late summer, because your Saturn return was exact in August of 2005.
I almost said August.
So it's like that kind of gave me chills where it's like, and I didn't tell you August, like when I gave you the
No, you
years.
didn't. But I thought it. I just didn't say it out loud, and I was just like, it was late summer because everything just got easier too. My youngest, had turned 5 that July, and everything just became so much easier. They both started school that August too.
Yeah, so that probably
So
would have like freed up a little bit of space and time for yourself too,
hmm
do you think?
it did free up a lot more time to like study and to pick up extra shifts at work.
During 2005 or like even after that period, what would you say the big lesson was around that time in your life in 2005?
Faith,
Faith.
definitely faith,
Mm,
and time management.
faith and time
Those,
management.
I know those are like a little different, but like that's what comes to mind.
I think they work well together though. It's like the structure and also the faith. Like there's no structure around faith. It's like you just gotta have it, right? Like there's no system to it. Would you say there's a system to faith? I don't know.
No,
If you have one,
there's
like
like
let me
okay.
know.
No, I just distinctly remember like there was a lot of faith, like
Mm,
a lot of self cheerleading, Like, you
Yeah.
got this, get going, turn this paper in, get dinner done, like, pick up this shift,
Yeah.
you need it. Like, it was a lot of like, a lot of self-cheerleading.
That's interesting too, because it's like throughout those other cycles that we were talking about, like when you were around 7, like teenage years, and then like when you were at your other Saturn square, like when you got pregnant, it was very much about like other people. It's like, I need to take care of other
Hmm.
people. And it sounds like during your Saturn return in 2005, like this was that time to take care of yourself again, too, where it's
Mm.
like you got to do the things that you love to do. And also, you were that cheerleader for yourself. Whereas before, you were kind of like that cheerleader for other people. Would you say does that fit or?
I think so. I mean, even between like 2003 and 2005, I lost 100 pounds. So
Wow.
it was like it was self-motivated. You got to be healthy for your kids. You gotta, be healthy for yourself. You can't take care of your kids if you're not healthy. And so I changed my diet did a 360. I stopped eating fast food into like, it was just like a lot of faith in myself.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful.
There was just like a lot of growth in that
Yeah.
short, 2 year span.
And like really buckling down and like doing that for yourself. Even if it was like, it's because I can't go back home. Like, there's no way I can have them tell me I told you so. It's like, it
Oh,
sounds like that's like fuel. It's like, I cannot.
well, that was around the time where it was like I finally stopped caring. Like but those first couple of years, it was 100% about pride.
God, I love that. I finally stopped caring. Like that's a very Leo lesson. It's like Saturn and Leo lesson.
Mhm.
I don't care what other people think of me. I'm done trying to conform. I'm just gonna do my life. I'm gonna express the way that I want to express. I'm gonna do the things I want to do. I'm gonna follow my heart. Like Leo is the heart. It's just this like connection. And I think for me also like to think of the word faith, it's like you need to be connected to your heart to have faith also,
Mhm.
where it's like you need to have this, I don't know what it is, it's just like this open heartedness. And I think like with Saturn and Leo, sometimes our hearts can close off, where it's like, okay,
Mhm.
it's not safe, it's not like all of these things that kind of harden that shell around our heart. And then it sounds like at this point when you made that decision to stay, and like that moment in August of 2005 when you were like, oh, like this is working out. Like I actually kind of
Mhm.
like it here. It sounds like those walls kind of came down off of your heart a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Just realizing that when I think it had a lot to do with stop caring. When I was removed away from all the situations and influences and stuff, and then when you get put into a place where it's just yourself, it was just one of those, I'm gonna stop caring, and then like you just have yourself to deal with.
Mm,
So it was mostly about like looking myself in the mirror, like what do I want my life to look at, like
yeah.
because I don't want it to look like how it just was. And
Yeah.
so I think that was just like the motivation.
And that's like that 11th house theme too, of like your aspirations, your dreams, your goals. It's like, what do I want my life to look like? Leo, from the heart. Like, what do I really want? Rather than like, what
Mm,
did people do before me? Like, what do people expect of me? How do they expect me to show up? It's like, okay, no, how do I want to show up for myself and in my
hmm.
community, in my life, like moving forward? And I wonder like what you kind of carry with you from that time. Is there anything that you've just really learned from that time that you still carry with you today?
Oh, absolutely. If I can do that, I can do anything. Kind of
Mm,
that, honestly, because I think I just talked about that today. I was just like, I don't even know if I have the bandwidth to do what I did then, but it was a catalyst to continually fulfill my needs and what is important to me. I think that up until that point, it was always for someone else. It was always for someone else's expectations, or because that's how they saw me and that's how I should be. So I don't think that I ever truly did what I wanted to do my way. And I think that removal, being from my comfort zone and where nobody leaves this area because the whole family is from here, I think it was like, I don't think I would have been able to grow from that. And then since then, I have moved a few states and a continent.
Yeah.
And that is still was something that like we don't do that. And then it was just like, well, Brandy does that, you know?
Brandy does that. She is that
So then,
like
and then I was just like, I don't care. I'm gonna do my life, and it's unorthodox for them, but it's suiting for me because I'm
God.
fulfilling what I need to do for myself because I'm paying my bills, I'm taking care of me, nobody else is, and I think it was just one of those. I don't know why it took me 25 years, but like it took a long time for me to get there, like 30 years. So it was just like that's what I carry with me now. It needs to be based on something that suits me because I'm the one paying my bills. I'm the one feeding myself. So I shouldn't have any outside influences to where it drastically changes my personal boundaries or changes, who I think that I am as a person. So I think that 100% has carried over since then.
That is huge. And I love that you touched on just like the first 30, 25, 30 years of your life, right? It wasn't that way. And I think like that's exactly why I want to have these conversations because I think Saturn does get shit in this astrology community. And it's like, okay, yes, it can be hard, but also like look at this beautiful gift of being able to
Mm.
travel like through states, through continents to really like live a fully expressed life, to really like honor your needs and what you desire. It sounds like one of the greatest gifts that you can kind of give yourself, if you ask me.
It is. I mean, I wouldn't change my life for the world and the experiences and the different moves and the different jobs and careers, because that was really frowned upon.
Yeah.
Like, for my influences, for me, anyways. I didn't really have anyone supporting me, like, yes, you should leave the state, or yes, you should change your career again. I didn't have anyone like really supporting me in that way. And so I'm thankful that I had faith in myself and I'm thankful that I finally just got sick of that shit. It's I'm miserable. I was miserable, a lot because I wasn't fulfilling my deepest desires. I just felt like because I had these roles and responsibilities and everything was just put on me,
Hmm.
I didn't feel like I got to grow in my way.
That's huge. It's like you just took back that power. It's like, oh, I pay the bills. I get to do whatever I want. Like I can live a life that's true to me, even if that story wasn't fed to me. Like I can create that story for myself. I can do
Mm.
what I want to do. I can live a fully expressed life and really do the things that like follow my heart, right? It's just like I can follow my heart.
I've pretty much been doing that ever since.
That's so awesome. I'd love to hear too if you have anything to share of like what that looks like now. Because I'm sure, like, okay, at that point at your Saturn return, it looked a certain way, but I'm sure now it looks very different. Like, how are you taking care of your heart in your life today?
I have an infinity love for swimming currently. I was getting sick of my own shit of excuses after a few knee surgeries of being so active and being a runner. Like, oh, you can do swimming or bicycling, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. What about my hair and the chlorine? What about my skin? And, and then I don't
That
know.
Virgo
It was just
rising.
yeah. And then I was just literally sick of my shit. I was like, seriously, listen to what you're saying. Just go do it. And lo and behold, it was like instantaneous. I'm like, forgive me, but like my crack cocaine. Like I was just, so like right now, that getting that cardio back is something that I've really, really missed for quite a few years. And I'm not going to kick myself in the butt, give myself grace. But I love that I'm nurturing that active part of me that really ignites me. I've always been an active person.
Yeah.
And I'm at that also age where sedimentary like hurts my body.
Hmm.
And so now that I'm swimming 3 days a week, I feel so good. I feel like I don't know, like another rebirth. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing for myself now. And also the acknowledging that you never have enough money to do, those excuses. Oh, well,
Hmm.
I need X amount of money to this. I need X amount of money to that. And now I'm just like, you know what? life is so extremely short. So I try to take myself out on a date no less than once or twice a month. I'm making sure that I am not tied to my work. I'm 24/7 on call. So I make sure that I go offline at least one weekend a month.
Hmm.
I miss going off the grid. So right now what that looks like is just taking care of myself. So if I used to be super frugal too, don't buy it unless it's like super cheap or on sale. And I'm like, you know what? If you want it, get it. So it's just kind of like that, staying within budget. I took myself to the theater Friday night to a play by myself. Never done that before.
Oh
Just
my gosh.
I'm not being artistic, but that is art, right? And that
Yeah.
was one of my things that I put in the Aquarius new moon in January. And I was just like, what am I doing artistically exactly? I haven't busted out my paints. So I'm just nurturing that self-love. Like I want to be social without drinking. Well, let's go to a play. So I
Yeah.
went to a play, I'm swimming, I'm still going somewhere at least once a month. So that's kind of what it looks like for me now. It's not just a next year or 6 months from now. It's a weekly thing. Like
Hmm.
I have to do something for myself, whether it's taking myself out to dinner, taking myself out to a play, swimming.
I love
So
this
that's
so
my
much. It's like like you use those fire words like igniting, like just like because you have a lot of fire in your chart. Not only Saturn and Leo is fire, but like you have so much fire in your chart, and you do need that like constant, not constant, but you need that like influx
that
of
constant.
pretty constant, that
In
influx
the
of
bedroom.
like fire and excitement. And like with your Saturn in the 11th house too, it's like, and in Leo, that creative spirit and that creative community, taking yourself to a play. You need to be serious about play also. And you are doing that by like making that a non-negotiable. It's like, I need to do this. This is a necessity. It doesn't matter that it costs money. Like, this is a priority, and I need
Mhm.
to invest in this part of my life. And I think that's such a beautiful expression of Saturn and Leo is like, I'm taking this seriously. I'm taking my fun, my play, the things that make me happy. I'm taking it seriously, even if other people don't understand or if it's not the norm of like, we don't spend
Mhm.
money on this stuff, but we do now. Brandy does now. Like I get to do the things
Well,
that make me happy.
I turned it too that like I'm worth the investment,
Yeah.
you know? And like just the swimming thing is not only is it like a suits my cardio soul, but honestly it's my inner child. Any excuse to be in the water. And then like I'm gonna go swim laps and then it's like I'm gonna go play in the water.
Like
Like
I get to be a
you
mermaid today.
I think I just enjoy pushing myself and redefining myself, investing in myself. And I feel like not that like if I knew then what I know now type of thing, like
Mhm.
I wish I would have always looked at myself as an investment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty new to me, looking at it that way. Like I'm
Yeah.
investing in myself, like whether it's eating the proper foods that I want to eat or walking. It's like, I'm like, it is an investment. You're investing in, your mental, your emotional, your physical well-being.
Yeah. Like you're your
And
most
that,
important asset. Like you are the thing that
yeah.
it's you. Like God, I love
So
that.
it's kind of changed the way I look at that too.
That's amazing. God, thank you so much for sharing, Brandy. I love this
Thanks for
conversation.
listening.
Yeah, God, it's so cool just to see that progression of like, and you can really see it in you now too. It's like the thing that you just said too, where it's like, it's not just about the cardio. The swimming isn't about the cardio. It's like a byproduct of it, but like the goal is to go in there and enjoy yourself. And that's what
Hmm.
it sounds like probably a shift, right? Where it's like before maybe it was a different reason, but now it's like, oh, I get to go and I get to have fun and swim laps, like not just put
Hmm.
my feet in the grass and like my fire needs movement, it needs fun, it needs play, and that is one way to express that.
It doesn't feel like a chore. It's something I want to do.
Yeah. God, that's like such a key. Doesn't feel like a chore, it's something I want to do. It's like if it feels like a
Hmm.
chore, it's not going to be fun.
Pretty much. I've done a lot of chores.
Yeah, it's time to like have fun.
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, for being here, for having this conversation with me.
Thank
It was so
you.
fun to chat with you. I appreciate your fourth house sun being here and out in the open and like sharing with other people because I think like my goal with this is just to allow other people to see what Saturn's all about. And if anyone has Saturn in Leo, if they can relate or I don't know. I hope that people can relate to these stories and to see that Saturn isn't this big bad wolf here to like blow your house down or whatever. It's like,
It can feel like that, but there's
yeah,
a purpose behind it,
there is a
you
purpose
know?
behind it. And it might not be apparent while you're in it, but afterwards, like
Exactly.
looking
Mhm.
back, it's just, gosh, like life would be so much different. And look at like the gifts that you got from those times in your life.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for
Yeah.
having me. I greatly appreciate your
Thank you.
time.